evening, everybody from South Africa. This is Tina Snell with episode 42 already, would you believe it, of Velospitty Speed Talk. And our episode is called Maxibel. And the reason is that we have a Maxime from Belgium, Maxime Lucas. Hi, Maxime. Thank you for joining us. Welcome.
Hello.
All right. Now, before we get cracking with Maxime, just a little bit of news. We had a somewhat muddy MXGP round in France, in Annay. And for our youth, for the interest of our youth viewers, Kast Valk increased his lead in the European Championship standings on the Fantic bike. Maxime, by the way, Fantic doesn't make an 85, but have you looked at these bikes, the Fantics, that was 1 to 5 world champion last year and leading the European Championships?
Yeah, the bike will look really good, but I think the KTM is better. But it's
all right. Well, there's a good reply for your sponsors. Great reply. And then going to the road racing, the MotoGP, and particularly the Moto3, great race. We had Ethan Guevara, good friend of ours, 4th podium in a row, won a GP again, and 2nd in the World Championship. And then stunningly, David Salvador, 16 years old, 2nd in his 2nd Moto3 race. Maxime, do you follow road racing as well as motocross?
No, I only follow motocross or MotoGP on the.
Yeah, MotoGP and of course the Moto3 is like the smaller class of MotoGP. Now, interesting for you, for the Belgian guys in the Moto2 class, there's a young Belgian by the name of Barry Baltus. He's young. He's 15 years old, or 15 or 16. Very, very young to be in Moto2. And he's a great rider. He's been getting some points. He's made it through to Q2 in Moto2 already. So maybe that's somebody that you can follow. And then coming up, the Moto MXGP is going to Teutschenthal next weekend, also with the MX 1 to 5. Have you been to Teutschenthal at all before?
No, I think one time with my dad, but I don't know much about it again.
Yeah, you didn't race. You haven't raced yet. And then the FIM Junior GP. That's a very, very exciting. A very exciting series for a stepping stone series for MotoGP. They will be in Catalonia, something incredible to watch. Okay, that's enough of the news. We get back with our guest. Now, Maxime, I actually knew you before I knew you because I've known Dad and Sylvain, your grandfather, a long time. They worked with me in our team in Belgium. So it's no secret that there's motocross in the family a long time. But tell us how you started with the motocross.
My dad, he raced motocross, and I think I saw it one time and just my dad do it. I want to do it. So, and I ride one time a bike, the Yamaha PV50. I ride it one time. It was fun for me, so I think I blew up with the bike. So.
All right, that's great. And by the way, we've had some people join the show already. We have one of this is a great friend of ours, Valentino Kirk. He's a young boy. He's 7 years old. He does motocross and road racing. Very interesting rider, and we've had some great visitors, as you can see on the screen. Okay, so we've got how you started, and then when did you start with competition? Because in Belgium, the competition doesn't start so young. I remember when I was there. So when did you start with competition?
I think I was 8 years old when I started my competition in MC Lille.
So you started in MC Lille, and then when did you start realizing that you have the potential to go to do international racing? When did Dad and you see that there's something here that you can go international?
I think in Amsterdam we ride there with Marnik Barefoots, and he say I see something in Maxime, and then my dad say I think we're gonna ride the EMX for one time, and it's good. Then we are gonna go farther with it, but and then it was like I'm riding really good in the EMX, so we keep riding there. So
All right. Yeah, of course, Marnik Barefoots is a former GP rider. He was second in the world to Stefan Everts a couple of times, and his son Jarne races as well. He's one of your competitors. So Marnik has a good eye, and also Marnik was the manager for Kemia Yamaha, the factory racing team. So yeah, of course, if Marnik says you can make it, then you will make it. And then this year, you've been coming through the years. So just tell us, before we get to this year, tell us how your years have gone, from 65 to 85 before this year.
I think my 65 year was really good the first time, and then we go to the 85. My first races from R&M, they are really good, but then I have a really hard dip, I think. And now I came back really good and strong, so I hope it go farther. And yeah.
All right. Now, then this year, it completely exploded. It's like it was. You came like a bulldozer this year with your results. Firstly in Lommel, winning the EMX round there, and then also, of course, the opening round of the ADAC. So tell us first in Lommel, what did you expect going into that EMX?
I didn't expect to win, but I expected really good because my riding was really good all days, and I came right in normal free riding, and I'm feeling so comfortable on the bike, and then it happened.
Yeah. So, Valentino, this is a mistake that many people make. They think your name is Lucas, but then he said Maxime, so he fixed that. But in any case, and then you won it. So how did that race go? Did you know for qualifying and the qualifying race and everything? Did you know this was going to be a good weekend?
Yeah, I didn't know it's gonna be a good weekend because suddenly I had really bad crashes, and I feel confident on the bike, but I had hard crashes, and I think Sunday morning I had also a big crash, and my father say, yeah, I hope you got a good start. Then from all things in a race, then you feel better for the end result.
All right. Yeah, that's great. And of course, to win in Lommel, that's always something very, very, very special. And then you went to the ADAC in Dreets, your first ADAC, I believe, right?
No, I ride last year. I ride ADAC also.
You're right.
Then it was not so good also as this year, but yeah.
Yeah, and then in Dreets, especially on Saturday's race, the weather wasn't so good, and you came back from in the middle of the pack. You hunted down everybody, and you won. So tell us about that race.
Yeah, I didn't start well, but I feel really good on the bike then, and I was so comfortable, and I ride to second, and then the first guy crashed in front of me, and I got by him, and I think I got a good gap, and I hold it. So
yeah, that was great, and then you repeated on Sunday. Now, both your races that you've done really well at this year on sand tracks. So is that your favorite kind of track, or do you like hard pack as well?
I also like hard pack, but I think in the sand I'm more comfortable. So. Yeah.
All right. Now, in the Euros, I think you're lying fourth in the standings at the moment. But it was a little bit bad luck. I think the second race in Denmark, you didn't have a good score. What happened in that race?
I was, I think, third position, and then I big stone and I crashed over it, and I got pain in my leg, and I couldn't stand up, so I came from last position, so, and then P19, so.
Yeah, 19. So you had 2 points there. So because if it weren't for that and you had your normal average score, you would be much closer to the front of the pack. But in any case, you're looking good to be qualified for the European final. I think you need to be in the top 10 to qualify for the final in Loket, right?
Yeah.
All right. And Loket, of course, is a very hard track. Have you ridden on many tracks like that that's similar to Loket?
One time in Loket in the 65.
All right, you rode in Loket in the 60. What in EMX final or what?
Yeah, the EMX final. Yeah.
And how was that for you?
That was my first, I think, final, and I think I rode really good, but I don't know.
All right. Okay. So that you know Loket well. Okay. Now we've spoken about the year a little bit and what's happened in the year. So today I made a little video for you. I see you've had a few music videos on your Facebook and on your social, but this one is a little bit more. It's got from stuff when you were very young up until this year. So get your popcorn and we'll have a look. All right. Well, there you go, Maxime. There's your music video. What was it like for you?
It was really nice, and thank you for it.
No, it's no worries. I had to look through a lot of video footage of you to find all of that because we recorded the ADAC and also the Euro in Germany, and unfortunately they didn't broadcast the Dutch Masters of Motocross. You only did one Dutch Masters this year so far, right?
Yeah, I think Axel, and no, I think two, and only Arnhem, I think.
Arnhem, yeah, and yeah, because I saw on the points that you had points. I think you had one. You started with a fourth place in the Dutch Masters. Now, if we look at the Euro, you in the northwest region. It's a very strong region, and you have strong riders with you. You know, in your group, you have Gian Dunsen, you have Tyler van der Poel from Belgium, you have Ian Amporter. There's so many that we can mention strong riders. Does this help you to be able to train with such riders close at tracks close to you?
No, because they live really far away. Ian lives in West Vlaanderen. That's like
Right.
200 kilometers, I think, and yeah.
All right, and but you have really strong competition in your group, and also, of course, the Dutch Masters is a very strong series with riders coming from all over Europe. Now, just to prove to you how strong the series is that a rider like Jason van Drunen, who's a strong, very good rider, is at the moment 11th. You know, he's not qualified at the moment. You know, so but of course he had bad luck in one race, and I think Dex van der Broek is actually ahead of him. But you know, so yeah, it's still an exciting series. What is your next round in the European Championships?
I think Capiz in Czechia.
Right. Oh, there's Kenny Kaplic here in Czech Republic, which is good practice for Loket. In any case, there's Kenny saying he liked the compilation of the video, and a shout out to Kenny. He also used to hang out with us in Bruforce Racing. So so you have Kaplic, and how many more rounds do you have?
I think two of the EMX.
Right, and your next ADAC, what is your next ADAC race?
Meurs, I think.
Oh yeah, of course. You said Murgers, and Murgers is in Austria, and that's a very hard track. In what I mean is hard ground. It's spectacular. It's beautiful in the area there. So that's also going to be good practice for you for the final, because we can pretty much say, I think, without a major disaster, you're going to be in the EMX final. Now, you look very fit. I can see in the sand races, you come from behind, you put your fastest laps near the end of the race. So you are fit. So what do you do for training?
I most train with my with Kenny or my trainer Mark.
All right. And what program do you have for physical training? Do you do running and gym, or what is your program?
No, I think I most go mountain and running. So.
All right. And you say your trainer is Mark. Which Mark is that?
Van Schoren.
Oh, yeah. All right. So Mark van Schoren is your trainer. Now, we've spoken about the European Championships, but of course, there's also the Junior World Championships coming up in Vantaa in Finland in August. How do you look forward to that?
I think I'm really gonna train for that. I hope that I'm gonna get there a good race and good start. And yeah.
All right, yeah. Of course, it's Vanta is a little bit sandy track, so I've spoken with Dad about our plans because with Vangani Racing we also taking some riders from South Africa, and it will be good for me to see Dad again. We had many good chats when we were in our workshop. Now, you were saying about your trainer and your physical training. Is there any rider that you have as an example, that a rider that you follow and that's your favorite rider?
I think my favorite rider is Jorge Prado or Antonio Carioli.
All right. Yeah, Prado or Cairoli. And now Cairoli was in the AMA. He's been for the first 2 rounds. He's going to stay for 2 more rounds. Did you follow a little bit what he's done in the AMA?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's 36 years old, and in the last heats on the weekend, he pulled a good hole shot, and he finished 6th. I think it's not so very bad for him, and of course Jorge Prado, young guy, young MX2 world champion, and of course you can speak Flemish to Jorge Prado because he stayed in Belgium, and he can speak Dutch, right?
Yeah.
All right, that's perfect. And on in AMA riders, do you have a favorite there?
Yeah, I think Ken Roxon or uh, what's his name? I don't know. Jet
Jet
Lawrence.
Lawrence. Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, and Jet Lawrence, that's an incredible story. He was really sick on the weekend, and he took the overall. He nearly threw up on the podium. He was really not a well boy, and of course he's also still a very very young rider. So that's an excellent result. And now with tracks, do you have a favorite track? A track that you like the most?
Yeah, I think my favorite track is Genk right now, or Old Honda Park, but it's closed right now.
Yeah, Honda Park, of course, there was a big fight to keep the track open. And where I stayed in Belgium, Honda Park was just a few minutes away. I was almost exactly halfway between Lommel and Honda Park. Yeah, and that is a nice track with a nice cafe, by the way. So that's good. Hey, speaking of cafes, if I ever do come to Belgium, you guys are near Paul Beringen, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, then I will take the family to Afrit 26, or you know that restaurant, or is it 26 or 29? I'm not sure. It's a restaurant just. Yeah, that's yeah. I remember that because we sometimes went for lunch there from the workshop, and I think Dad will remember. Now, okay, we've spoken about the motocross. Outside of motocross, you spoke about mountain biking. What other things do you do that interest you?
My no.
PlayStation says that. Okay, all right. Are you a big games hero or what?
No, I don't play much games, but I play it. Yeah.
You play games, but not so much. There's Jockey Bogarts that's also popped in. We've seen a couple of people pop in, but we can't see all the names because they didn't all give permission to show their names. But this one must be Dutch because it says Tof. So yeah, that's definitely not English. So there you go. So thank you everybody for joining. And how do you balance it with school, your racing and school? Because you have to be away often and miss some days.
I just learn much in school, and yeah, hoe zeg je, laat je op. I take really much attention in the lesson. So
Yeah. And do you have a favorite subject?
I think sport.
All right. Yeah. No, that will be the best subject. Yeah. No. Because I can hear you can speak well, and this is important also because obviously with the ADAC, you almost permanently on the podium and other races. I think the German people are starting to get to know you, and it's good that you speak well and know many things. And on music, what kind of music do you like the best?
I think I listen most to hardstyle, but
Yeah.
that's
All
most
right.
of the races that I can hype up and
That's great. And now here's Anthony Chica. They lived in Austin years ago. Is some fellow South African. They're now in the States. They qualifying for Loretta Lynn's. So that's interesting there. And Kenny says, was it girls or moto? All right. So obviously Kenny knows a thing or two. And now, speaking about the States, do you follow the junior races in the States, like Minnie O's and Loretta Lynn's and so?
yeah, I most follow Gainsborough on the Ratarins in the days. So
And is there any of the junior riders that you like to follow?
I think most Gainsborough, I think, and no, I didn't know much riders then. So
Yeah, because we had before an interview with Kenyon Richards and also with Casey Cochran. Two very very good. There's my partner Dave Brug. He thinks you're a topper chair. So there you go. You're getting some compliments. All right, now it's not cheap to go racing internationally. Dad knows that. Grandfather knows that. So how do you manage that? Who are the sponsors and so that help you?
Katie and Belgium, my dad, my mom, my family, and Mark, my trainer, Becker Racing from ADAC, and much more. But I don't know, Tam Racing and
Yeah, I see you always have the dumb racing shirt, and then with Becker, that's Lutz Gerlach. Is that correct?
what do you mean?
The guy from Becker Racing, is that still Lutz Gerlach?
Yeah, Thomas is really nice to me, and
All
yeah,
right.
he is all good. So
Yeah. Because when I came to Europe, we stayed 1 year in Germany, and we did the German Championship. That was when I came with Tyler Rattray and Gareth Swanepoel when they were about your age. And by the way, speaking about age, you have your birthday on the 20th, correct?
yeah,
So we have this interview on the more or less the right time. Maybe a week later would have been good. But and do you plan anything special for your birthday?
I don't know. I think I just gonna lie today. So
Yeah, that's special enough. That's special enough. Now, your birthday is on 20 April, so that's got nothing to do with your racing number. So where did you get the racing number from?
I don't know. I just got the first number I got was 2, and then I go to 9, and then I just need to write in the EMX before 400 and 500
Yeah.
between that I think, and the 9 was yeah, yeah, and that was only the number that was free. So
Okay, so now you have 529, and if you go to GPs, would you keep that number?
I don't know. I think yeah, but I'm maybe 9 again. So
All right, and speaking of GPs, obviously that's your goal. What do you see your career progressing? How do you see the next few years going?
I hope it's gonna be good, but you never know it. So
Yeah, of course. When will you move to 1 to 5 next year?
yeah, next year I gonna write 1 to 5. So
All right, and the idea is the same kind of program, ADAC, Dutch Masters, and EMX, right?
yeah,
Yeah, because the EMX 1 to 5, that's a fierce series. That's a very, very, very competitive series. So, but I can see you're quite a strong rider. Have you ridden a 1 to 5 before? Are you training on one?
No, I only ride now the 85, and I never ride the 105. So
Ah, I see. Okay, well, this has been great, Maxime. Before we know it, the dentist appointment is over because sometimes riders think it's like going to the dentist to do an interview. You've been absolutely great. Thomas Becker. Ah, yeah, there's somebody that said Thomas Becker with the question that I asked, and then wish you all the best. So yeah, the comments are coming in thick and fast. Thank you for joining us. Now, before we go, it's very important that people learn or know how to stay in touch with you and follow you. So, where can people follow you?
they can follow my Instagram, Maxime Lucas Lucas _ 539, or my
Yeah.
Facebook. It's the same. So
Okay, so you've got Instagram and Facebook, and I see you're quite active. You post things, so that's pretty cool. Because sometimes you have riders that the last thing that they post was when they stepped off the peewee. So yeah, that's great that you have that. So thank you very very much for joining us. We will post more stuff on Youth Force Racing, and both this interview and your video, I will put them separately on YouTube and send them to you so that you can put them on your social media as well. All right?
okay, thank you.
Okay. And then I think because somebody asked me, they missed the video. So I think what we're going to do is, as we say goodbye, we're going to play out with your video for our viewers. Look out for something very, very special coming up with one of our previous interviewees, a new world record from a 10-year-old. We will have some news about that closer to the week. I've just been reminded by Dave to mention that Vangani is going to Finland. I did mention that before for the Junior World Championship. So we will see you then. And Maxime, thank you very, very much.
Yeah, that's no problem.
Okay, and with that and a most delightful interview out of Belgium, it is Tina Snell signing off, and keep your eyes peeled for some special news later in the week.
Say goodbye to all the joy that you had in your life. In my mind, the pain is a flame. Sunlight brings a different kind of story.
Your black and
All the shadows disappear.